Survivor specialist Phil and Will are back. Will is back from Africa. No more Alexa. Sorry, all you men out there. It's Will. He's back. Survivor episode 4 of season 33 is over. Lucy's one episode of dominance is over. We will never see the likes of Lucy again.
They're not going to bring her back.
Will's. Oh, I think she might be a fan favorite at this point just because of how ridiculous this all went down. Man, Lucy, RIP-ing your Survivor game here. I mean, that was brutal. Will, I know you talked about it before we started this podcast. Will pretty much called this spot on before the season began. He said her social game is going to kill her. And sure enough, one line. I mean, this is back-to-back weeks, though. We've seen somebody with one line really do them in. Should not have gone home tonight.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I just want to first say thank you so much to Alexa for stepping in. I watched the recap. I tried watching the predictions on the plane, wasn't able to. But Phil says she had Lucy at the bottom of her power rankings, and that was counting as my power rankings. So that's awesome. So thanks to Alexa 2 times for that.
For 3 seasons, Will's been trying to. For 3 seasons, you've been trying to beat me in power rankings. Alexa comes on one episode and gets Lucy in last place. I put Lucy in 16. Maybe Alexa should just be doing your power rankings all season. Maybe you should just whatever that is, surrender that one to me, or let Alexa do it for you, because you just can't compete with me in that. I'm just saying.
I mean, I would have had Alexa in last. I know that sounds like BS, but I would have.
Alexa's not even in the game.
Sorry, Lucy. I would have had Lucy in last. My mind is not so sharp right now. I just got back from Africa today. Had 5 flights to get home. It was worth it though. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, let's talk about this this boot. It was, I don't know. Lucy kept saying that it was because she, that's the way she talks. She's blunt, but there was so much more than that. It wasn't just that. She wanted power. She wanted control. And I did not buy her whole "that's just how I talk." That's not what got her voted out. I think it's because she wanted to take over the game.
It might be that she was trying to take over the game. I think what it comes across as, I think Ken and David almost didn't think it was sincere because she came at them so aggressively that it was almost like, don't go talk to anybody else because if you talk to anybody else and it's not going to happen. And it's like, but if we don't go talk to anybody else, then how do we know that this plan's even in motion? Why do we believe you who voted with us one time, and it would make complete sense for you to logically flip back and just pick us off and try to make us feel comfortable because you think David has an idol? So what? I think it came across way too aggressive, more so than her just being blunt.
Yeah, it was way more than being blunt. And I don't know, at least for Ken, I know he was taken back by the phrasing and the whole semantics of it, but it was rude. I know people were getting on Ken, especially Lucy. He's like, "Oh, I thought you were a man. You can handle it." Ken's being emotional, but it really was. Someone just tells you what to do. It's not ever really a good thing. And they hadn't worked with Lucy at all at that point, so I don't know why she felt she was in that power position to tell them what to do. I thought the most interesting thing about this episode, though, was heading into this episode, I thought on Gen X there was 3 people that would be safe. It would be Jessica, Lucy, and Sunday because they could really decide to vote. They can go with David, Ken, Cece, or they could go with Chris and Brett. And those 3, they got all the votes except for one. I know Sunday didn't get a vote, but all the votes went to either Jessica or Lucy. So they really screwed up badly. It was all their fault for getting votes.
Yeah, which was really confusing because the 3 we said, I think me and Alexa said in the predictions episode was, look, here's the 3 people. Jessica didn't make a bad move because she still has 2. And now she can either go to Cece, David, and Ken, and they have the numbers, or she can go back to Chris and Brett if they want to accept her, and they have the numbers. The problem is, for some reason, that 3-person group in the middle that literally had all the power somehow just, like you said, completely blew it. Lucy really did want to vote Jessica out of the game. Jessica had no clue it was coming. Anybody who's saying Jessica's not LVP of this episode is insane. She got voted out tonight. She actually got voted out tonight. Somehow is still in the game strictly because of David. So she better be sending David a really big Christmas present this year because she is the LVP. She did nothing right. She blew a really good position and ends up getting 5 votes. Yeah,
she reminds me of the San Francisco Giants and their game against the Cubs, who had a 5-2 lead heading into the 9th, 3 outs away from forcing a game 5, but they give up 4 runs and lose. Very devastating. But right, I don't know why Lucy, ever wanted to get Jessica out in the first place. She's your ally. She's someone, because if you go to Chris and Brett and Sunday and Jessica and Ken, Cece and Dave, if they stick together, then you're just hopping into the minority. Like, there's no reason to do that. So terrible move by Lucy, terrible move by Jessica to go run your mouth. I guess, what do you think of Jessica asking Lucy point blank, like, did you tell them that, and not trusting Ken? Because there's something to be said for, she hasn't worked with Ken that much. Should she trust him? I mean, obviously it was a bad move, but like, is it as bad as could that have worked to her favor if things played out differently?
Honestly, that isn't that bad of a move, because you have to be thinking at that point, if you're Jessica, Ken's on the bottom here. And like, Ken, you have to be thinking like, he's looking for 2. And he's worried that we're going to flip back to Chris and flip back to Brett. So what he's trying to do right now, if he's a good strategic player, I think Jessica's overthinking it. She's a huge fan of the show. So I think she is overthinking it. And I think what happened was, she said to herself, I think Ken is trying to get me to vote out Lucy just so that he can break us up. So we have to go to him. So me and Sunday have to go to him, Cece, and David. I think that's like what her thinking might have been. I don't think Ken's thinking that hard into it. I think Ken is playing an emotional game. I think he's playing a pretty good game so far, but I think he's playing an emotional one. I think Jessica overthought it, although you got to be thinking at that point, Lucy was your ally for the first 3 episodes. She jumped with you. Why wouldn't she still be on your side?
See, in my thing, I wouldn't ever go directly to Lucy, because obviously she'll either tell you point blank, yeah, and then it's super awkward, and then you can't have any conversation with her, and it's just things are kind of over, and there's chaos around camp. The bag's out, cat's out of the bag. I would go to David, because I think, get confirmation from 2 people that it happened. Like, David, did this really happen? Like, can I trust Ken? And I know David's on the bottom also, but just getting 2 people looking them in the eye and be like, yes, Lucy wants you. And then go to Sunday. I don't know, Sunday was nowhere to be found this episode, but Lucy, to really pull this off, did she loop in Sunday? I don't know. What was Sunday doing?
Sunday voted for Jessica.
Right. So
Sunday voted for Jessica. Or
I don't know. If I'm Jessica, Lucy's the last person I'm going to confirm it. I understand her suspicion, but I wouldn't go straight to the source for that, because if Lucy lies, then you're just stuck. Like, what does that help you with if Lucy lies to you?
It's true. No, that's a good point. All right, let's talk. Let's try to. I think we should try to like actually talk about this episode and how it developed. And like you said, Sunday was nowhere to be found. This episode. This was finally the point in the season where like a lot of people took a back seat. Taylor and Figgy took a complete back seat. Michelle took a back seat. We didn't hear from Will Wall. Like we barely heard from Hannah except for when she had her little Adam thing. We finally hear from Lucy, and then she goes home. So it's almost like they were like pushing aside all of their characters to put a character who's going to get screwed over by this idol boot, which is kind of what happened with Kelly Sharball back in Samoa. She got voted out with an idol, and she barely had any screen time the entire season. Like, I think that's what Survivor does. They're like, okay, if they're going to get booted for a way that we can't really explain, and they're not that interesting, and they're never in power, let's put them in this position. We won't give them that much screen time. There they go.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Lucy was going home just from the preview, just like, wow, she's getting airtime. People don't like her. It was all negative. I thought, okay, this is her boot episode, which is fine. And throughout, did you think Lucy was going home this whole episode? Like, this was Lucy's kind of coming out party in her, final goodbye.
Here's my only thing. I knew there was no way Lucy was going to get the most votes at that tribal council. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, Jessica's going to go home because David's not going to play his idol for Jessica. But David goes and plays. Like, I knew Lucy wasn't going to get the most votes because they simply didn't have it, and I knew Jessica was going to vote for Cece.
Wait, why are you so sure? Why are you so sure that Lucy wasn't going to get the votes? Because
Jessica wasn't on board. Jessica was still voting Cece.
I know that she ended up voting Cece, but we don't know that. I thought there was a chance that, once the dust kind of settled on the whole thing, that David and Ken were like, okay, we talked to Jessica, like everyone's kind of figured out. Lucy really did throw Jessica's name under the bus, and then Cece, Sunday, Jessica, David, and Ken all vote Lucy. I thought there was a chance of that happening.
I didn't think so, and another reason why I didn't think so, one was because I was confident that Jessica was voting for Cece. That I don't know what it is, but they didn't really ever tip you off that she even had Lucy's name in mind to write down. She was still going against that other alliance. So I knew she was writing down Cece, and they never went to Sunday tonight. And I think if they were actually going to be able to pull the numbers to vote out gone to Sunday and at least had somebody tell you what Sunday was thinking, even if Sunday didn't get a confessional herself. We never heard at all what Sunday was thinking, and because of that, I was pretty confident Jessica was going to get the most amount of votes. I can't believe David played his idol for her.
Yeah, we could talk about that in a little bit, but just going back to Sunday, I always just thought Sunday and Jessica were kind of voting together because they together both betrayed Brett and Chris. And just what do you think about Jess getting all the blame for the flip when it was three of them? Like it was Lucy, Jessica, and Sunday, and then Lucy goes immediately, yeah, she's the snake. It's like, well, don't Brett and David or Brett and Chris realize, wait, Lucy, you voted against us also?
Yeah, exactly. And you want to talk about like the night of like last week, everybody was saying Zeke was being a baby. Like Chris was being a baby this time. Zeke was not being a baby last time. He was very egged on. Tonight, Chris came back and he was pissed off. And he was being a baby about it. So like anybody who thinks Zeke threw a tantrum last week, Hannah wouldn't leave him alone. Tonight, Chris threw a bit of a tantrum. And then when it was like, I don't want to talk about it, and they all start talking about it, he's like, well, why don't we talk about it over here? It's like, because you just said you don't want to talk about it. Like he was doing the Hannah role of last week. So Chris was being a baby. But I thought Chris and Brett saw through it originally when they were like, well, now all your cards are on the table. When Lucy came over and talked to them, I was surprised that they didn't try to make more of a move to get rid of Lucy.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. If Lucy's coming up saying she's going to flip, they can go right to Jessica and Sunday and be like, yo, Lucy is trying to get you out. Then you have everybody on the tribe essentially. Like you don't even need David and Ken. And CC, really, because that would just make 4, even if they all voted with Lucy, which they probably wouldn't. But yeah, very interesting how these people in the middle somehow just work their way down to the bottom. Do you want to now talk about Idol? Like, what is this move? What is going on with David? I mean, the thing, my biggest problem is, a tribe swap's coming. Why are you trying to secure a majority in your original tribe when this is the 4th tribal council? You know you're going to switch tribes soon. You don't need to be the majority.
The only thing I could think that he was thinking, and this, once again, David's a huge fan of the show, and I think that a lot of fans go out and they overthink. And I think what David was probably thinking is, it's Millennials versus Gen X. So far, it's been a pretty even season. Maybe they're going to keep us together this entire time. And if we go to one more tribal, my alliance is going to go down. If I lose Jessica, it's 5-3. CC and Ken are gone. And I think that he might have been thinking, I got to save Jessica because we're going to stick together longer. Because now, if they go to the next tribal, Sunday is going home if they go to the next tribal. Because Brett and Chris are still too valuable. That's what he's thinking, I think, at the time. Obviously, it doesn't matter now because here comes a swap. But I think that's what he was thinking.
When's the last time there hasn't been a swap? Wasn't it like South Pacific? Like literally, that's season 23. This is 33. It's 10 seasons ago.
And when was the last time, though, before South Pacific? It was, what? Okay, heroes versus villains, but that was heroes versus villains. You know what I mean? Like, he could be thinking along those lines. In fans versus favorites, they try to mix them up. I mean, trust me, I'm not defending his
No,
position.
I know. I would love to get... I would love to... Is there a reason beyond, like, let's say he knows there's a tribe swap tomorrow. Would he still do this? I don't think so. But is there an argument to be made, like, yeah, there's a tribe swap. I still want Jessica in this game. Like, because I think David and Jessica actually do have, like, a bit of alliance. I think they were closer the whole time than Ken and Jessica ever were. And I think that's why Jessica had to, like, verify Ken's information. But I think, like, David and Jessica actually have, like, a real bond. And if they didn't, he would not have played his idol for her.
Yeah, because otherwise then that really is the stupidest move. Another thing, too, you're going into a swap. If it's you, Ken, and Cece, you can easily get broken up. And, yeah, you have the idol, which could obviously get you through a move, and you could swap right over to the Millennials and stuff. I don't know what his thinking is. Maybe somewhere in his mind he was like, well, if I play the idol, I keep Jessica. Now I could possibly end up on a tribe where 4 of us are together, 3 of them aren't if there's a swap. I can't think for David. I would never have done this. I would pull the Terry all the way in Panama. Never give up that idol until you have to use it for yourself. Never would give it up unless it literally could turn the tides of the entire game, which this didn't do.
Maybe something.
There's no way I'm ever giving up my idol.
Yeah, maybe something like post-merge where you really need to save somebody and you have an immunity necklace on or something like that. But, yeah, I really, really, it really makes no sense because even if let's say you don't swap for another week or another 2 weeks, like you can win these challenges. It's not like millennials are kicking their ass. We'll get to that immunity challenge. I thought it was pretty silly how hard that word puzzle was. But you're right there. Like all you have to do is go to tribal, once and play your idol for yourself if you're really worried. You don't need to play it for somebody else. So honestly, it could be an LVP move by David, even though.
But I think Jessica has to be LVP,
even though he played it successfully.
Yeah, which I get those 5 points. But I think Jessica has to be the LVP of this episode, and I think I have both of them on my team anyway. So whatever you guys want to vote for, but I'll just make my argument for why it's Jessica and not David is because David saved somebody who could be his ally. Yeah, he used his idol, and it's probably not a good move, but it's somebody that he could be aligned with, and if there wasn't a swap coming, he would have the numbers on his tribe. What it comes down to with what Jessica did is Jessica didn't believe anybody, believed the person who voted her out of the game, and just got lucky somebody played an idol for her. That's an LVP move. You got voted out.
I know it is. It's just it's like getting voted out is never criteria for LVP, and that's why it's kind of like, okay, makes me think a little bit. And what David's move is he just wasted an idol literally for no reason. I mean, maybe somehow Jessica and him end up on the same tribe, and there's only 6.
Maybe he finds another idol.
Yeah, he could. The tribes, we have 16 people, and we're gonna split into 3. So what is one person going to exile?
Are they gonna split into 3? For sure, like 100%.
Yeah. That's been confirmed for a while. Like the picture of the third buff leaked like 2 months before the season. It's a green.
And that couldn't have been the merge buff.
I am almost sure it is the green. It's going to be a third green tribe.
Okay, let's say they do 5, 5, and 5. So somebody's going to go to exile, probably from the Millennials, I would think. I think a Millennial is going to get
screwed into that. Immunity challenge, and then they pick a team or they join the losing team, something like that.
I don't know. It could be interesting. We'll have to get into that more on our predictions episode. But I am a little weird. It is weird that they're swapping at 16 when we're assuming they're going to go to 3 tribes. I have no problem with it. I like the dynamic on all the tribes, but I love this cast so much right now. Like we talk about Ko-Rong. Ko-Rong was a strategy-heavy season. Was it good strategy? No, it was not. But it was a strategy-heavy season with a lot of like unlikable characters. This season is just incredibly fun right now. Everybody on this season is so enjoyable to watch. Like I don't care. Like Ken and David are a great odd couple right now.
Mm-hmm.
You got Chris and Brett who are great as bitter people. Jessica's great as like a hopeless person. And then on the other side, the Millennials I could watch all day. I mean, tonight we got so much from Adam. We got them chasing after the GOAT. We got Michaela taking her top off, saying she's going to show everybody some tatas because she wants to win the game. I mean, this is just a fantastic cast. And I'm loving every second of this. So, like, I have no problem with them mixing it up right now because whoever's left, whoever gets screwed over here, I'll be disappointed. But whoever's left, it's still going to be a good season.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm enjoying this cast thoroughly. I don't agree, though, that Ko-Rong was a bunch of unlikable people. I thought we had a lot of good people making it deep in that game with Sydney, Aubrey, Michelle. You
gotta remember, I'm the only. I'm like the only person who like loved Michelle. You're like one of the only people who liked her. Aubrey and Sydney, yeah. A lot of people liked Ty, but didn't like him because of Scott and Jason.
Ty was a fun character. I mean, Ty was an interesting person to have on Survivor. The whole chicken thing, Kyle made a deep run. Scott Pollard ended up being really, really good. I wouldn't say it was. Yeah, Joe is.
A lot of people didn't like the. It's a very fun cast,
right?
In a positive way. Whereas that was a fun cast. I love Ko-Rong. It was a fun cast in a negative way.
Right, we're only 4 episodes in, though. Like, I think we were loving the Ko-Rong cast 4 episodes in also. And then, I mean, the more you get to know people, stuff happens. I mean, Ty was amazing, and then he just started turning into a madman, switching allowances every episode, and it kind of ticked everybody off. But no, yeah, so far I agree. It's been a really, really fun season. The votes have all been good, too. I mean, Paul,
unbelievable.
Paul was, I thought it was a little predictable because nothing else could – it's not like – I don't know. Cece was not about to go home that episode, but just good power shifts. People aren't staying pat in their power, which is always fun.
Everybody's trying to play the game, and that's why I'm really interested to see what happens when these tribes swap. How are they going to actually keep trying to shift this power? Because you don't know where the power lies on either of these tribes right now. I mean, okay, let's get into this. Everybody goes to look for the GOAT. There was a clue that David should have had to have found before he even found his idol. So he really just stumbled upon the idol. Adam found a clue. And he didn't go and find the idol right away. But we got to get into this idol find. This has to be, and Jeff teased this, and I'm not saying this just because it's Adam. Like, I'm really not saying this just because he watched us before he's on the show. This had to have been probably the most emotional idol find that there's ever been. And at the same time, this is why super fans need to keep playing the game. Because as soon as he knew he was on the bottom, he looked for every opportunity. And even when Hannah caught him, I don't even think Hannah realized that he was actually looking for an idol. I think Hannah might have thought he was taking a dump or something.
Yeah, I mean, I almost teared up a little bit. And usually the idols are so overhyped. I know Jeremy had some where he's like, this is it, you know. Mike had a really, like, he just started, I think he broke down and cried when Mike found an idol. Did Mike find an idol in Worlds Apart?
Yeah, dude, he had one the entire time.
Yeah, he had one the whole time. And he won all the Muni challenges. So,
yeah.
But yeah, no, this was really sincere. It was good to see from Adam. I'm glad he found it, and I think it was, you know, I don't think Hannah knows he has an idol. He definitely didn't see. Is she suspicious of him, you know, having one? Definitely, but it's not like she saw him point blank with it out, him wearing it. I don't know why people always put it on right away though. Like, I know the camera's right there.
He even looked right at the camera and said, I'm going to put this on to feel it. I was like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's like if someone walks by, then they can see it so visibly. Like, I'm not even reading the rules. Like, I know the rules of a hidden immunity idol. Like, I don't need to read it. I mean, maybe read it later and, like, I don't know, at night or something. I don't know.
Take a dump.
We'll have to ask Adam that. Why'd you put it on? I mean, it's excitement. We know the answer, but I would not have done that. What do you think about Hannah spotting him? What do you think she's gonna, you know, run with this information and like try to play it? Because I think Hannah needs Adam right now.
And not only that, I think Adam and Hannah, I think this proved the two of them have a good relationship going right now. Because I think they were joking around. I think Hannah was like, how's your idol hunt going? And he was like, oh, it's going great. I seriously think she might have thought she was caught him like in the bathroom or doing something. Like, and even if she did think that he was looking for an idol, I don't think she goes back and tells everybody, because I think you're right. She needs Adam right now. And who's in a better position going into a swap than Adam right now? Like, you know what I mean? He's got the idol, and if the Millennials, no matter where they get split up, he's still harmless. He's not like he was vicious to anybody, and it's not like he was really against anybody. I think Adam is in the best spot going into this swap.
Yeah, I think he's in a good spot, mainly because of the idol. I don't know how well he's getting along with the other Millennials. I know he hasn't stirred up any trouble, but he was on the bottom of that vote, and Zeke seems to be really well-liked by the Millennials. I'm not saying they don't like Adam, but, I mean, he could have been, if they lose, he could have been the target.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're going into this swap. I think.
I know he's swapping, but if he finds himself with, you know, Figgy and Taylor, are they really gonna? I mean, they'll want him for a number. I guess the best part is that the Millennials have 2 more people than the Gen X, so his odds of landing in the majority are higher. So that goes for any Millennial, but the idol certainly helps him out. Yeah, good to see that from Adam.
Yeah, good stuff. Very emotional.
Both idols found by superfans. So there you go. They play the hardest.
Okay. They do. They really do. And Jessica Lewis found the thing at the beginning of the game, and she's a super fan. So all important stuff here. Yeah, they kind of toned down the Millennials this time. I like this reward challenge. I thought this was a really fun reward challenge. I know we've like seen something similar to it before. I thought this was a fun reward challenge though. And my God, I don't think Jay realizes that all he had to do was like poke his finger out and he would have been in. Like all he had to do was like poke his finger and he would have had it and they would have won 3-2. He was so close. Loved what we got from Jay.
Oh, Jay.
Loved what we got from Michaela tonight, though. Michaela is like just every week she just keeps getting better and better, and she's competitive as hell, and I love it.
Yeah, she's a fun character. I loved the waves. Jeff was pumped on these waves the whole entire challenge, and what do you know? Right when it ends, he gets hit by a wave, and he was loving it. He's like, "These waves are crazy. This is the first time in Survivor history a wave has hit me." You know, like he absolutely loved it. I wish this challenge though would have been the immunity challenge. Like these really physical, grueling challenges, I think should be for immunity. And I know that whole number grab thing was so cool, super
dope, yeah.
Super visually, you know, appealing. But to have a puzzle that hard at the end of it really kills it. It's because, like, all right, we know both people are going to get to, and it's not a puzzle you have to work on, you make progress on. It's either solved it or you haven't. So I don't like a big puzzle like that after a really, really cool, unique challenge, because
it almost makes the beginning part useless.
Did you feel that way at all? Like, I always feel that way when it's like 40 minutes elapsed on a word puzzle. It's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. You could have finished, 20 minutes behind on the number grabbing thing, and you still would be in the same spot. So I
agree.
as a person who loves games and puzzles, I would have designed that differently. Hopefully, they will learn. What was somebody loses their flame tonight
or something? Yeah.
That is so many letters. Like you have tribe in there. You have, they had best. They had so many words.
Fight, and to be fair to David, seemed like he was on the right track. He was using survivor words. The only one that was a survivor word was flame. Somebody loses their flame tonight. The only one, if you had flame, okay, but David was going for tribe and fight, and to be fair, he was fine. I think though
you have fire in there,
fire.
So imagine fire,
And I think back to your point, I think they purposely do this challenge as the immunity because they know at the end both tribes will be at the same stage. Whereas at the other thing, they're worried that they could get a heroes versus villains when they're doing the bags against each other, where it's 9-1 or whatever the hell it is, and the one tribe just decimates the other, and there's really no drama at all. I think they try to keep it away from that. And I agree, the physical challenge is a little more exciting. I loved what they did with the number thing. Just the puzzle was way too long.
Yeah, have a puzzle that requires you some time and progress where you can work on it, not just stare at letters until you figure it out. That's they were fun challenges. All right. Anything else we want to get into? We hit the idol. We hit David's idol play. The vote. Let's just want to just roll the comments?
Let's roll comments, man. All right. Travis Hero D. Jeff loves Survivor first, and Lucy had her first confessional. He must be ecstatic. I'm sure he was ecstatic with how Lucy played out in this season. Sure, he loved her.
She was good TV this episode. She was interesting at least.
She was definitely not boring.
Right.
Which is shocking because a lot of times these invisible people, normally they're invisible for a reason. I think Lucy's was just because she had no storyline in the game.
And also a point I want to reply to, someone went through and listed the people who hadn't had confessionals through the first 3 episodes or 2 episodes. Those people, everyone in that list at least had screen time, and maybe they didn't have a confessional, but they were talking, about strategy and alliances and votes or in challenges and were really visible somewhere else. Lucy was no confessionals, but also nowhere else on your screen. Just maybe slivers at challenges, but she was nowhere. So
she would just smile.
It's not just confessional. She was just nowhere to be found. So because it's Natalie White didn't get a confessional until episode 4. I think that's the case. But she was one of Russell's girls in the premiere, and she got at least some screen time.
Yeah. And she was blonde Barbie, or she was, whatever Barbie. They really played her up. All right, let's go. Steel Punch. Overall, that idol play felt very unmemorable considering it was shoved down our throat that it was Jess or Lucy. I just thought it was memorable because it even happened. Because I just wasn't expecting David to go up there and actually save her. And he did. I was like, oh, man. The way Ken reacted, it almost seemed like, dude, we had the numbers. But Ken actually voted for Jessica.
Yeah, it's crazy that Ken and David have this alliance, and Ken knows that David has an idol. Ken votes for Jessica, and David plays it to save her. I would be pretty ticked if I was Ken. Man, that was not that it was my idol, but it's hey, we could have used that down the road. And instead, you saved the person who I voted for. Why didn't you tell me about this? So we'll see how David and Ken do next week.
Yeah. Steel Punch prediction for next week. Ken finds idol. Figgy and Taylor stay together because the confessional from Taylor tricks you. Yeah, I could see that. It'll be interesting to see how that gets divvied up because the Millennials, I'm more interested in how they get divvied up than I am how the Gen Xers get divvied up.
Well, now that there are 3 tribes, and I'm almost sure there are going to be 3 tribes, the chances of staying together go way down.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true. It's true. And Curtis, was this the longest time spent on a puzzle in a Survivor challenge?
I don't think so.
I remember what season it was, but it was the one with the gold. They had to stack gold or whatever. And I actually think it might have been Benry who did it, but I could be completely lying. They had to stack gold or something, and it took them hours. And Jeff said it was the biggest mistake they ever made. That's
not a puzzle though, is it?
No. It was certain pieces of the gold or something. It was blocks. It was a square. I don't really remember, but they only fit together in one way. It was a puzzle, but it was they had to be stacked the right. Dude, it was insane. It was
and I know I know when it really gets down to it, some later challenges, they have pretty elaborate puzzles at the end, and where you have to maybe run back and forth places. They don't always show time elapsed. It's only time elapsed when they're doing one task for so long, and you're sitting there okay, what are they doing?
Yeah, That's true. Let's see. Steel Punch, MVP Adam, found the idol. LVP Jessica would have gotten voted out if David didn't play his idol. Do you want to talk about MVP? We didn't really talk about that. I know LVP we said. I think Jessica.
You guys gave it to Jessica
Who do you think
last week.
MVP?
I had no say last week. I would have said
No, Jessica didn't win, though. Jessica didn't win.
Oh, who won?
Ken ended up winning. Ken.
Whose team is Ken on?
Phantom.
No way. All right, Phantom Tribe. I think it's gotta be. It's gotta be. I think it's Adam this week, just because finding an idol right before a tribe swap, and I'm sure Adam is thinking a tribe swap is coming. Unlike David, I think he's a smarter fan, so I give that one to Adam. I don't know. Did anyone else have a really good episode? Gen X was such a mess. It's not like Chris and Brett did anything to get off the bottom. Yeah, but come on, she just had a funny line. Like, come on.
No. Like, I mean, like, Michaela did well to, like, prove her worth, I feel like. Like, she had a positive episode.
I thought you were
competitive, all that stuff.
Okay.
No, she's also on your team. I don't want her to win either. I mean, Adam's on your team, too. I don't have anybody to throw up. I'll fuck Hannah because she looked adorable.
Michaela had a fantastic.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Michaela MVP of the season, said Will. No, I would say nobody throw up for my tribe. I'll say David because he played the idol and it worked. Who knows if it'll work in the end. Or I'll say Hannah because she looked damn cute saying hi to Adam when he was looking for the idol.
David, honestly, I think is an LVP candidate. I really do.
Is.
I think he dropped from Jessica was, I never know how high she was, but David went from like really, really good, like got an idol, got an alliance. You betrayed Ken, kind of, by not telling him, wasting his vote. You got rid of your idol. You saved Jessica, who I don't even think is that loyal to you. I mean, it's not a good move for David.
No, not really. All right, let's roll. Dude, we got so many, so let's keep rolling. Steel Punch. It was also clear it was Lucy, considering they never mentioned anything about the legacy advantage. That's a good point. That's also a good point. If Jessica was going home, they probably would have said something about that. Very good point.
Yeah, I don't know, though, because I don't know. It's the first time this is happening. I could see them not wanting to bring it up because then they're like, oh, we're giving away that Jessica goes home if we talk about it. I hope she talks about it and then doesn't go home at least once, and then it's like, okay, now we know that that's not a 100% indicator. I don't know if they are thinking like this, though. I don't know. Not like Steel Punch. He's thinking through everything.
Steel Punch, man, that's what he does. He also wants to know, do we think it'll be 5-5-5 and one exiled and then join losing tribe?
Yeah. It might not be exiled. You might – what could you do? I guess you could go to the –
what they did with Julia last season. I could see it very much being like that.
Yeah, Julia went to a – but the thing is, there's now – where would the one person go? Maybe they go to the Cyclone camp. Where they went.
Yeah, exactly. They go to the wherever that is. Mash Naxton? Sure, we'll go with that. Keeping with Invisible Lucy's edit, a Redemption Island twist wasn't mentioned in the next week promo, but we'll bring Lucy back. That would be wonderful. Nate, can you tell us who's winning in the bootless and prop bet games for tonight's recap? I can't because I didn't do them yet. I will tell you, though, that there was one person in the boot list that had, I think I said 2 points, and they were winning. I forget who it was. Now they no longer have 2 points, but I wasn't able to update all the things in time. I will update that.
Where did you have Lucy? Because I think I had Lucy pretty
You had Lucy at 20, and I had Lucy at 14. So we both got 3 points from it. You and me are both still tied. We can't get away from each other. It's disgusting. It's so adorable. Yeah. Yeah, that's about that. But yeah, we'll get those updated for Sunday or Saturday. Probably not Sunday because I can't do Sunday. We'll figure out what day we're going to do that. Giovanni, MVP David for playing the idol and earning Jessica's loyalty as well as a hug. He did get a hug. That is MVP worthy if you get a hug. Adam Heinrichs, do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like Jessica cannot win now. Like if someone plays an idol to say it's like.
Oh yeah, because Parvati was like the favorite in Heroes versus Villains at that final tribal, and she had idols hand to her, and she had idols played for her.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how can you like Jessica? What's your if someone can just pull that out in the final tribal, and there's not really any good defense for it. Oh, I knew.
You know how she does it? She blindsides David. She gets rid of David and then ends up sitting there at final 3, and it's because of her move to get rid of David. And yeah, I think she could win.
Okay, maybe.
Adam Heinrichs, do you think they will divide into 2 or 3 tribes, and how does this mark the end of Failure? We keep saying we're probably thinking 3. Is there any chance they do just 2?
Well, I like I like Tiggy better than Failure.
Tiggy?
Yeah.
Failure. What was the other one? Bigley? Something? Yeah.
There was Tigler, but that doesn't. I mean, that's going Taylor.
That's creepy.
Tiggy, Taylor. So I like Tiggy. Yeah, it's gonna be 3. I'm almost sure. So, and who knows? I mean, it's gonna be random.
Travis Hero D, if you picked one male and female millennial and one male and female Gen Xer to win, who would they be at this point? He goes Jessica, Adam, Ken, Michaela. I would definitely say Adam on the millennials. Once again, not just because he listened to us. Like,
I would say Jay.
He's actually killing it.
I think Jay is. He used my winner.
No, I think they're saying, like, who do you like? Wait, is this like who do you like or who do you think is going to win?
I think it's think.
Well, think. I still think Adam's getting a better edit than Jay, dude. Jay's not going to win. Get out of here. Jay's a buffoon.
I think.
And then I would say yes, Michaela.
They keep shoehorning Jay in when they don't need to. He was the one that narrated the whole, rhino or the whole pig goat thing. He said why he's a millennial chasing his dreams. They're just shoving that stuff in there, and for really no good reason.
Is this going to be my Michelle of last season as your Jay of this season, where nobody believes in you and then it happens?
I don't know. I don't think I'm the only one seeing this. Jay is getting a lot of screen time when he does not need to be. And it's like me.
Well, who would you go as the female on that tribe?
Maybe Michaela? I don't know.
I was going to say Michaela too.
I don't think Hannah has a good shot. I don't think Peggy has a good shot.
Yeah. And then on Gen X, man, I really don't know in terms of the women if any of them have a chance still. But I will say for the men, anybody but Brett could win. But for the women, I don't think any of them can win. Jessica probably has the best chance, but just because she's actually visible. Sunday, I don't think is going to win. Cece's not going to win. So, yeah, I'm not seeing one there.
I would say Jessica out of those 3, but I don't think she. Like I said, when someone plays an idol for you, you're
unless you're Parvati.
Yeah. But she didn't win. She didn't win in Heroes vs. Villains.
She didn't. But everybody who says she should have. Wait. No, she shouldn't have. No. Adam Heinrichs. Hashtag Tiger Mom speaks and is gone. That's right. Lucy also got a hashtag. So if you had Lucy, there's a hashtag in the prop bet game. Good for you because you actually got something useful out of Lucy. Did she say anything when she walked up to Jeff tonight? I don't believe she did.
I don't think she did either, but that's an easy one to check at least. Some of these are really hard to check, like past players.
Especially since if you watch streams or if you watch day afters, it's not on there, the hashtags anymore. So it's a lot of fun. I still don't know if Paul actually got the hashtag blindside, though everybody who watched it live tells me he did. Let's see. Giovanni. LVP Chris for voting emotionally rather than to patch things up. Right now it's 4-2-1 with Sunday not having anyone. I disagree because Chris was in the majority tonight on that vote, so you can't really make him LVP. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're Chris and Brett, you can't really fault them. I mean, like I was saying, if Lucy comes up, you could go back to kind of the new majority and say Lucy is throwing you guys under the bus. But if Lucy comes to you and says, hey, look, I got the votes to get Jessica, and you're sitting there on the bottom, you just got blindsided, you say, yeah, all right, sure. Like I don't blame them for that.
No, I don't either. And I think that to get the numbers back on their side proves that they can actually play the game. Giovanni, where does this idol play rank with all the others? I think it's like Russell, Tyson, Parvati vote in Heroes versus Villains. This is just I don't know. I don't think this is going to end up being a good move. I really don't. I think
it's that. I mean, the tribe swap, right? I mean, David's going into a completely random draw, and I know he had conversations with Figgy and Taylor at the summit. But he's going in now without his idol, and who knows how the numbers can shake out. You really, really don't know, especially with Gen X being down 2 people. It's just, man, you would love to have an idol going into a tribe swap.
Yeah, and Adam Heinrichs, this leads into this perfectly. Is it more likely for Jessica to betray David or for Jessica to give the legacy advantage to David if she gets voted out?
I mean, if David's still in there and you have this legacy advantage, why not give it to David? I mean, he played an idol for you. Why not return it? It's not – you're out of the game once you're –
You think she'll blindside him? You think she ever blindsides him?
I mean, you don't have to – why does Jessica have to blindside David just because he played an idol for her? Why – David can go out in many other ways. Like, you can – Jessica can be –
But I'm asking you, do you think there's ever a chance that Jessica goes against David and blindsides him? Yeah. That's my question to you. I don't know why you're –
I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance. But I don't think she needs to do – I don't think her doing that would still –
well, especially not yet.
I don't think her doing that would take away from the fact that David saved her ass, and she wouldn't be in the game for David. So even if she does that, I don't know why that would, kind of remove that stain of you were literally voted out of the game if it weren't for David.
Yeah. The only good thing for her is that some of these people might not make it to the jury, and the Millennials didn't actually see this go down, so the Millennials could still vote for her just because they never saw it. Sure, they'll hear about it, but they never saw it.
Yeah, they're going to hear about it. You hear about idol plays.
Yeah.
So for Jessica to win, she's got to go to the end with some really unlikable people.
Yeah. And Curtis, who do you think next week's tribe swap will harm, and who do you think it'll help if there's a tribe? Well, if there is, there will be. You want to just talk about that on the predictions? There's still a lot of comments. I mean, this is something we kind of talked about a little bit.
Question to answer. Like, it's just, I mean,
we'll talk about that on the predictions.
Yeah,
when we do our power rankings and we completely butcher it.
Yeah, well, I hope we get the tribes. That's they're usually pretty good about at least getting the tribes out on Sunday. I mean, maybe Alexa and I will have to podcast because Phil has booked up all his Sundays. Right?
I have booked up all my Sundays, but we can move that around easily. I don't know if people can handle you and Alexa. That's too many egos.
I think Alexa and I would put on a good show, and I think that's probably what the people want, honestly.
Honestly, yeah. I will get into some of these comments about how they feel about you, Will. Anyway, Giovanni Oriana. Hey, it could happen. I'm not against it. Giovanni Oriana. CC, Figgy, Hannah, Michelle, Sunday, Taylor, and Will did not get any confessionals this episode. Yeah, that sounds about right for the 4th episode of the season. Giovanni, the idol hunt was weird. What person casually asks another if they're looking for an idol and not snitch on them to the tribe? That was strange. Normally they get snitched on instantly, so I'm a little shocked.
Yeah, I think it's because Hannah and Adam are I think they're friends. I think they are kind of in the game. Hannah's not really that tight with the cool kids just because Michelle yelled in her ear, vote with me, vote with me, vote with me. But Hannah does it now. She's best friends with them. I don't think that's the case. So Adam and Hannah are kind of I think they're tighter than we think.
Yeah. Giovanni, how many times have they shown a pig hunt? A lot, but this was a goat hunt, so a bit different.
And I like how Adam used that to look for the idol. That was well played. 6 people.
That was very smart. Yeah. Adam Heinrichs, what is David's thoughts giving that idol to Jessica? David and Cece voted Lucy, while Jessica voted for Cece. Everyone else voted Jessica. We've already kind of gotten into that. Why do you think Ken voted for Jessica?
I think Ken was really, really pissed that Jessica didn't completely believe everything he said. He was like, you thought I was he was shocked that Jessica would even consider the fact that Ken might not be telling the truth. Mm-hmm. I don't think Ken knows Survivor that well, and that lying is a big part of this game, and other people are going to question whether you're telling the truth. I think he was personally offended that Jessica went to ask Lucy. So yeah, and Ken's a pretty emotional guy, as we've seen.
Makes sense. Let's see here. Adam Heinrichs again, MVP. Adam for finding the idol. David, LVP for saving Jessica before a swap. Travis, Hero D. Adam for MVP 100%. And Curtis, who do you think / hope finds the new idol for the Gen Xers? My fingers are crossed for David, Ken, or Jessica to find it. Man, I think Jessica's going to be the most desperate for it. That's for sure. Something tells me this is going to find its way into Chris's hands.
Yeah, I would like to see Chris find it too. I hate when someone plays an idol and then they find it themselves again. There's something about it I don't really like. I'm in a Second Chance, Jeremy found 2 idols. Kelly Wentworth found 2 idols. It's more fun when they get spread out.
Yeah. Adam Heinrichs, how do you like Hannah saying, hey, Adam, did you find the idol? And then Adam breaking the 4th wall and talking to the camera person. It's another fun one because the camera guy, so you know what? She knew he wasn't taking a dump because the camera guy was standing right next to him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she couldn't see the camera guy. I don't know. Supposedly there are just camera people everywhere filming everything to combat Brazilian Idol. But I really don't think that Hannah thought Adam was going to the bathroom. I think Hannah's like, Adam's looking for the idol. I don't think he's found it. He's just in some tree. Like, what are the chances you walk up as they find it? So you're just kind of like, yeah, I know you're looking, but I'm friends with you. I'm not going to rat you out. I think that's what it was.
It's not like he was in some crazy spot. Like, he was in a tree.
And it was really close to the beach, it looked like. Yeah, it wasn't like he was deep in the woods. It was, he could have just taken a swim or, I don't know. Wasn't that weird. And
I did like when he just, like, threw the shell, and he's like, yeah, that's good enough. Like, he didn't even, like, totally just whatever. That's good enough.
He was so pumped. He was so excited.
He was, dude. He was, and that led to a great moment. And Curtis, now that Lucy's gone, who do you think will be the new Invisible Edit? That's a tough one, especially with the swap coming up. But if I had to guess, I would say probably somebody like Sunday.
Sunday already is. Yeah, she's already on her way there.
Yeah. And maybe Will, dude. Like, I think Will's going to start falling to the background a little bit here. He's not really in an alliance.
Yeah, I think Will get some screen time from the swap just because he's 18 years old and he's like the youngest one. And the millennials are blending with Gen X.
After that. Yeah,
I don't know. Depends how, who goes to tribal obviously determines a lot, especially with these small tribes of 5. The tribe that goes to tribal will definitely all get confessionals. So at least you would hope so.
Yeah. Giovanni Oriana, who showed their goodies better, Sugar or Michaela? Definitely Sugar. That's like an iconic shot. Michaela kind of like was covering herself up. I just want to win the game. I mean, Sugar was all about it. That was funny as hell.
I mean, there have been tatas out in many Survivor challenges. Sugar really embraced it the most, I think.
Yeah, that was by far the best, especially like with how crafty she was, especially being a hero.
Jen and Heidi are still number 1 if we're gonna rank all of it. I mean, we could do a whole podcast about that.
Yeah, we probably could. That might be when we hit 1,000 subscribers. We'll do a whole special podcast on that episode of the. Amazon.
No, I mean tatas in general, just like.
You just want to do it? I was going to do it on Heidi and Jenna. Jesus, that's for our best looking men and best looking women in Survivor history podcast. We'll do tatas and don-dons or whatever the hell we want to call them. Leanne Rod. Speaking of rods, Leanne Rod. I wonder if now that Dave saved Jessica, if she gets voted out in the swap, will Jess give him her legacy advantage? At this point, yes. I wonder, and this is a good question here now, if she gets voted out next and David's on the other tribe, do they just take it and walk over to the other tribe and give it to David? She doesn't have to give it to somebody on her tribe, right?
I think she can give it to anybody. What would be really funny is if David knew she had it and then somehow got her voted out of the game without voting for her, and then she gives it to him.
Yeah, that would be really funny. That would be great. Leanne Rod, also I called in my prop bet that I'd find the idol. Hooray, Adam, you did me proud. Giovanni, wow, I just burped in the middle of this podcast. Giovanni, will there ever be a tribal council where it takes just one vote to blindside someone? We did almost see it tonight. We really did. Do you think we'll ever get that where it's actually like 7-on-1?
Probably. Well, hopefully we'll see it. Have we not seen that ever where the whole tribe's trying to vote one person, they play an idol? That's never happened.
No, normally they talk to somebody. Like even like with Russell and Samoa, like he had 2 friends or 3 friends. You know what I mean? Like he always had somebody with him.
Right. No, that'd be fun to see. I mean, Kimmy did go home after getting 0 votes, so it's not like getting 1 would break the record or anything.
It wouldn't be a Survivor. Well, it would be a Survivor first, but still. Okay, moving on. Giovanni, this is the important question. Will, how was the trip? Did you drink any elephant dung, find a hidden immunity idol, or did you watch the same movie Frank and Brandon watched?
I did not do any of those things. Except I did visit a village, like people that are honestly just living. They live in houses made of cow dung. They drink the calf or cow blood mixed with milk. I think they did that in Survivor Africa. Yeah, they did that because they were in Kenya. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's like a real thing. He was telling me about it. And he was asking because the chief spoke English, and he was telling me, "Oh, what do you guys eat?" And we're like, "Oh, yeah, we eat cattle too. We don't drink the blood though." But it was an awesome trip. Really, really an amazing place. I mean, Africa's huge, but Kenya and Tanzania were both great. Dope. Yeah. Giovanni, with the swap coming up, will the summit pay off in any way? I think it has to. I think David is going to be on a tribe with either Taylor or Figgy. That's kind of my thinking.
Yeah, they really played that up. They really did play that up.
And just in terms of, chances, it's more likely than not that will happen.
Yeah. Leanne Rod, what's up with Sunday? I thought she was with Jessica. Is she playing the as long as it ain't me under the radar strategy? She could be, but I also think she was closer with Chris and Brett than we thought, or than we might have been shown last week. I think she likes them.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm surprised. That's why I was like, why were Brett and Chris immediately so bitter? Like, they could have said, all right, I get it. Paul was kind of this figurehead or this loud guy at camp. He has health problems. He wasn't catching fish. I get it. Now let's get back together. And I know immediately, like, emotions are so high immediately after tribal where you feel really hurt that you weren't let in on the vote. But God, just think, all right, game. I still need these people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Leanne Rod, I want Cece or Sunday to find the hidden idol because it'd be so freaking random and it'll hopefully give them screen time. Cece finding it, I think, would be better than Sunday. If Sunday finds it, I don't know. I don't think it's that interesting.
It could be because who does she go to with it? Like, she's gonna have to go to somebody. I don't think she can.
She's probably go to Chris.
Herself. Yeah, so could be fun.
Yeah. Jimmy O'Connor, can we talk about Ken saying yes to Jessica and Tribal and having a 10-second stare? I loved it. I thought that was really great, too, because that was him pretty much being like, you didn't think I was telling you the truth. I 100% was. I hate you.
Exactly. And this is why I was saying he was so hurt that, like, Jessica even questioned him. He was like, yeah, you have to believe me immediately. Like, I wouldn't lie to you. Like, what are we playing, Survivor? Like, good stuff.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. Ken's killing me. Jimmy O'Connor, don't love the move for David to play the idol for Jessica, but hey, I like Jessica and it made for good TV for Vanilla Boot. I'm down with it because I like Jessica more than Lucy. Jessica's fun. So even though she probably can't win now, I'd still rather see Jessica on TV than Lucy.
Exactly.
So
that's why. Yeah, that's why. I mean, it was still a terrible move by David. I was still happy that it happened, though. I'm happy that we have Jessica instead of Lucy for sure.
Yes.
Sorry, Lucy.
Morgan, as of right now, who are your favorites and least favorites? Just off the top, Adam, Michaela, and I love the Jay Zeke thing. Love it. And then on the other side, Chris and David and Ken are great.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Zeke, I really like. I'm really starting to really like Zeke.
Yeah. We're getting to a good moment too soon. Anyway, Harold Rice, man, he's got to ask his question every time. How does Lucy compare to other people such as Ben from Samoa, Jeff Varner, Jimmy T, Marissa, and Russell Hantz? She got way less screen time than every single one of them.
When did Drew Christie go out? Was that episode 4 of San Juan del Sur? I think it was.
No, he went after Kelly Wentworth.
Yeah, because he kept saying Kelly's a snake. I think
he got 14th place. Yeah, so I think he was the 6th episode.
Oh, 6. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he was way down.
No, but doesn't San Juan del Sur 9-9? It was 18 for San Juan del Sur. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay, then he got. Hang on, I'll look it up. But I think what they're saying is he's talking in terms of placement more than he's talking in terms of what episode did they go. So he's just comparing to all 17th finishers.
Oh, I thought it was the whatever the fourth boot.
No. Let's see. Larry Miller, MVP, Michaela, LVP Chris, or should I call him Hulk Chris? And that is a funny, great moment that I'm surprised you didn't bring up because you love Jay so much. When Jay just walked up and goes, come on, Hulk, or whatever he said to him. And then he, fist bumped him. Because, you could tell, Chris probably thought, dude, I'm going to fucking kill you. Oh, God, I just cursed. He's like, I'm probably going to kill you. And then, Chris, and then Jay's just like, nah, man, we're good. Take my hand, please.
That was fun, and I like both those guys a lot. So to see that kind of camaraderie was fun. I don't know. I didn't get super excited, but fun.
Well, yeah, but you love Jay, dude. There's a great Jay moment. It's a great I'm a bro. Look at me. I just want to be friends.
Hey, I think Jay is trying to play the social game very subtly, and he's doing a very good job. He's having if Jay and Chris end up on the same tribe, Chris will remember that pound and be like, hey, maybe I like this kid.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. They could be best buds. That's your final 2 right there. Our 2 winner picks right there.
Hey, that's right. Okay.
Alexis.
Now I'm surprised we didn't bring it up.
Now it's even more real. I know. Now it's even more real. Alexa's actually getting comments in here. She says, R.I.P. Lucy's winner at it. Power players right now who can stay on top with or without a tribe swap. Alexa, these are questions you have to be able to answer yourself. You know, it's just a fact. But with or without a tribe swap power players, see, that's actually a good question. I like that one. With or without one, who's in a good position no matter what? And I think you look at somebody like
Chris.
I think Michelle's fine. Chris is fine for sure because he still voted with the majority.
I don't know.
I think
about
Ken's
Michelle.
Fine too.
Michelle's someone where she can end up
too.
and not be that strong in challenges, and they lose, and they're like, I don't want to go to tribal again until we merge. Because that's very tempting when there's 3 tribes to be like, okay, it's so easy not to go to tribal. We just don't have to be last. We can come in second. So I think I know there's a swap, but definitely want to keep your tribe strong. And this always happens too. It's like we have Millennials versus Gen X. When they start like first getting there, they count the numbers like, oh, it's 4-2 or it's tied up 3-3. Someone's going to flip. But then by the time they go to tribal 3 days later and they've been living together, people become friends quickly if there is like a connection. And sometimes you're like, man, I really like that guy. Like I know he's a Gen X, but man, that guy is getting along with him. I share a lot of values with him and I want to play the game with him. And my fellow millennial is pissing me off and I wasn't really good friends with them on the original tribe. Like that happens so frequently too. So I don't know. Be wary of that.
Yeah, I do like where Adam, Zeke, and Michaela are. I like where Adam and Michaela are at right now. Either way, Zeke can be in a little bit of trouble just because Adam has the idol. But he's very likable too, and he's really going to benefit from this tribe swap, which we'll get into more in the predictions. Anyway, Giovanni, did you like
one more thing?
Oh, go ahead.
Taylor and Figgy, if they do split up, that's probably good for them, right? Because I don't think the Millennials are that worried.
It's perfect for Taylor.
Yeah, I don't think the Millennials are that worried about it, and I don't know if Gen X knows that they were. I mean, people flirt like they could just think if they heard anything, it could be a joke. I don't know. They'll probably get the full scoop, but if they're separated, it's not really top of your mind. Like you're worried about the people on your tribe. So
true. No, it's true. Okay, so Giovanni, did you like being replaced by someone who sounds like Kelly Wentworth?
She did sound like Kelly Wentworth. I heard that comment on when I was listening. Yeah, I don't know if I was replaced. I think it was more of a substitute. I think that's a better word. Unless I'm telling
yourself that, man.
Yeah, maybe you're gonna podcast with Alexa right after this one. You're just
this isn't even live, dude.
Yeah,
this is all fake. Larry Miller, should Chris and Brett suck it up, rejoin Jessica, Lucy, and Sunday instead of being giant babies? I'm assuming that means like should they have? I don't think so because I think they did rejoin Sunday, and I think they got together with Ken, and they had the numbers. That's all I keep saying. They had the numbers. So.
Yeah, I mean, do that if nothing else happens. But if Lucy comes up to you with, I got enough votes to get out Jess, who betrayed you and spearheaded the move to get Paul, and you're sitting there on the bottom, yeah, go with them.
Yeah. Giovanni, is Adam getting the Jeremy Collins edit? And I assume he means the Jeremy Collins from Second Chance because in the other season, just nothing went right for Jeremy. But I'm surprised if he is going to get the Jeremy Collins edit and Adam's going to go on to win the game. I'm surprised it took 4 episodes for his mother to be brought up, considering she has stage 4 lung cancer. Because they brought up like Val and all of that like right away, and they do that. They did that with John Mish. They brought up his dad right away. Like I am surprised if that is the case that it took so long. If he's going to get this Jeremy edit, and that's going to be a big part of like him at the end getting money and setting and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. You would think if he ends up winning, that would have been brought up earlier, but maybe Adam didn't even bring it up until now. Like there's a chance he just didn't. Yeah. He was so excited about the game. He didn't want, his game to be defined by, his mother, and he wanted to, be a super fan and play the game. So there's a chance of that also.
And that line about him where he said, my biggest dream is coming true while my biggest nightmare is coming true. That was just like
very sad.
Oh man. Yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal because I think that anybody our age can connect with that, especially even if your mom's completely healthy right now, like you can connect with that. Anyway, Henry Alford, terrible move by David playing the idol. He's going to need it later on. Who do you think will get screwed at the tribe swap? We'll talk about that, like I said, on the predictions. And that's it for Twitter. Dude, we're going over to the chat here. The chat, it's a fun one. So, like, the chat's fun to go through because it's just people commenting on each other. But there is some good stuff in here.
Let's take the questions and comments. We don't need to reply, oh, ha. If someone types in, ha, ha, we don't need to read that.
I tried doing it when me and Alexa did it. I did try like going through it, but like every now and then there's a pause because there's like 15 in a row where you're like, what is this? Anyway, the ginger artist. Holy crap, that episode was so good. Totally agree. Ripperoni and Pepperoni, Dictator Purple Lucy. I don't know what that means, but Ripperoni and Pepperoni, Dictator Purple Lucy. That's also from the ginger artist. Zach Abrams. Adam looked really good in this episode. Maybe a winner's edit, question mark.
I mean, there's a chance for sure. I think Phil brings up a good point about his kind of story. Would have been brought up a little bit earlier, but yeah, we kind of just touched on that. It's possible.
Yeah, and this is the ginger artist. It's either a winner's edit or an emotional fan favorite edit, and it could easily be the emotional fan favorite edit. We won't spoil who's coming back for season 33, and I don't think me even saying this, or season 34, and I don't think me even saying this right now is a spoiler, but like they are playing up a lot of characters on this season. I'm actually kind of surprised that they're only taking 2 from the season because of how much they're playing up some of these characters. And seriously, out of these people that are left, man, I could see like 10 of them at this point at least being like asked. So to narrow it down to 2 while you're taking 4 from Co-Wrong, I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, I'm just sure they had to notify the Co-Wrong people right away, and so they just left 2 spots open. I don't know. I figure that's how it worked. I don't know the 2 people, so please don't tell me. I think Phil does know.
Yeah.
But
I do know.
I don't want to know.
I do know. And I've totally been biased in every single thing I've done on this podcast. Spoiler. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't mentioned it. Zach Abrams. Kind of like Jeremy when he was pregnant. Okay, so that's what he was talking about. Ginger artist, I hope he doesn't have to get pulled from the game like Jenna Maraska did. That was so heartbreaking. That would be so heartbreaking because I'm really getting Jenna Maraska All-Stars right from him. Do you think that Adam gets pulled from this game?
I mean, I don't know. It would have to be very severe for that to happen.
Yeah, and I almost think that if he did, Jenna Maraska brought it up on day 1. If he was going to get pulled from the game because of this, I feel like it would have been brought up already. Like Terry never mentioned his son, but that was so random. Like that was so sudden. So
again, the only the argument, and these are good points you're making, but the only argument is like if Adam wasn't saying these things to the camera until whatever day 10 or 11, then they don't really they can't really put that in there. So
I'm sure he was saying something beforehand though, like I'm out here to win this for my mom or something like that. Because in his preseason stuff, he was saying stuff like that. They could have had that in here. He at least would have mentioned it at least a little bit. Giovanni, I fear for David next week. I hope he doesn't go. Yeah, I like David right now. I'm really digging David. He's a lot of fun. Zach Abrams, I just hope Adam doesn't get pulled because he's a good player. I was mind blown that Ken did not vote for Lucy. I think that second point is a very good point. I think that just shows how emotional Ken is playing this game right now because he really wanted to vote out Lucy so bad. He was so mad at Lucy, but he got so much more mad at Jessica. It's kind of bizarre that's how he's playing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but there's a chance he got together with everyone. They're like, all right, it's Jessica. And he knew that was going to be the majority, so he's like, I'm going to vote with the majority. Because David is the one that really put this thing over. If David votes, I mean, he wouldn't vote Jessica and then, play the idol for her. But if he writes down Chris or Sunday or anybody, really, it would have been a 3-way tie, and there would be a revote. He's his vote, David's vote was the one that put it over.
Yeah. No, it's true.
It was a 2-1 vote.
Yeah.
2 for Lucy, 1 for Cece.
Yeah. That's so crazy that's how that turned out. Let's see. Mac Oceans. David is in the best spot in the game right now. He has 3 strong allies who know what he would do for him. That's true, but with a swap coming, man, that might not be as important.
Yeah, I don't like his spot. He's not that strong.
Although Mac Oceans brings up a good point. He's also got Taylor on his side. David's making his inroads, so maybe he isn't a good
I don't know how strong that is. I do think he will end up with Taylor, or at the very least Figgy. I don't think David's the number 1 target next week, but when you look at it, there's only 7 millennials left in the game. So, or 7 Gen Xers left in the game. He's not that strong. Challenges. He doesn't have his idol anymore. His only one really good ally, I guess he has now that I don't know if Jessica is fully with David as David is with Jessica. I don't think they're like equally invested in their alliance. I think David kind of, played that idol very, I don't know, kind of prematurely. I don't think they had that bond yet. So he has, I think, one good ally in Ken, but that's it. I don't think you don't become really tight with Taylor just because you happen to both be at the summit and everyone else went to the water. Like, I don't think that makes an alliance.
No, it's true. But it's an inroad, though, that other people don't have. And if they end up sitting next to each other, Taylor could be like, dude, you still want to come with us? And David could be like, yeah, dude, let's vote out Brett.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Could easily
I hear you. Yep, for sure.
The ginger artist, I think Ken just thought Jessica was a lost cause. It's very possible. Very possible. He's just like, she's done anyway. Let me vote with the majority. These are the important comments, so I'll just run through these real quick, Will, but just so you can hear them. Giovanni Oriana, maybe Alexa is more organized than Will. Ginger artist, hey Alexa, you did great during the podcast. Zach Abrams, MVP Adam, LVP Jess, hashtag Alexa over Will. How does that make you feel?
Whoa, hashtag Alexa over Will. Who said that?
Zach Abrams. Is he your least favorite now?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's pretty harsh.
Let's see here. Gamer girl, our Will gets a virtual welcome back hug from me. Welcome back, Will. There you go, Will. You feel a bit better?
I feel great.
There you go. A little bit better. Let's see here. Jake Trinex, I'm finally here live for once. Cool. That's awesome. I had to say that. Ginger artist, Ken is playing an honest game so far. Surprised Dave played his idol. Ken is playing an honest game, but do you think this is going to bite Ken in the ass? Do you think he is playing too much of a Maddie game?
I just think his mind isn't tuned to like Survivor level, and he's just thinking completely like, all right, you betrayed me or you didn't trust me, so I'm going to vote you out. Like he's voting out people he doesn't like and doesn't want to camp. Like with Paul, it wasn't that much for strategic vote. Like it was like he wasn't bringing in fish, and he was lying about saying he could fish. Like that's really what really ticked him off. So I don't think he's playing a good game.
It almost feels like Ken is like one of those guys who like you're talking to him and all of a sudden like he gets mad at you and like you keep joking around with him and all of a sudden you like look at him and you're like, wait, you're actually mad at me. Like, wait, what was the word that I said that really made you mad? Like it was like the Barbie doll, Ken doll thing. And then like he doesn't catch fish when he says he's going to. And now this like he's very strange on what sets him off. And like that's cool. I like Ken. Ken's awesome, I think, on this season. I'm loving him. But like there's just certain things where I think like he doesn't quite understand. Like,
and I think it's perfectly okay to be like, I think it's okay to be like emotional in your everyday life and really take, you only surround yourself with people that you enjoy being around and trust. Survivor, you have to like make friends with people you don't like. Like that's just part of the game. He's taking
it personally,
and he's taking everything personally. So, do I like him as a character? Yeah, I don't think this is a winning game for Ken.
Jason Obermeyer, Will, hope you enjoyed Africa. I'm sad to hear about Adam's mom, but a ballsy move by Dave. It's the earliest an idol has been played for the owner or someone else. Is this the earliest, Will?
I want to say it's either tied or it is, what is it, episode 4?
Yeah.
I know that I think it's like tied. I think there was another one in episode 4.
There have been seasons where they have to play an idol in episode 1. Like at the first trial, you have to play an idol. Those this is different. Yeah, this is different. I'm not sure. That's a good question. Something we'll really, really have to look into.
Or someone else can look into it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's definitely what I meant. Jake Trinex, I see David getting blindsided at the beginning of the merge or during the swap. I see Ken almost always going further than it.
Yeah, Ken has an advantage because he is, I think, he's physically really strong and much stronger than David. Like David's actually a liability, I think. So when these tribes are really small and you really have no place to hide. So I think that's kind of the biggest advantage Ken has at this point.
Yeah. Giovanni, I don't think Chris is winning, but he will try anything to stay in the game, which will be interesting. And then the ginger artist says, I think Chris will be interesting as an underdog. It is crazy that Chris is now, I feel like, an underdog. Even though he did vote in the majority, like, still somebody in his alliance went home.
I don't think Chris is an underdog. I really don't. I think no matter what tribe you saw, it could be 5 millennials versus it could be a tribe of 4 millennials and just Chris. I still think he survives the tribe.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good point.
Especially because millennials they already have a 2-person advantage on the or I guess no, they have a 2-person advantage on the Gen Xers, so they can afford to get rid of their own. And if they're not happy at camp, or if someone isn't really blew a challenge, then Chris can say, "Hey, just keep me. You guys still have the numbers."
No, that's a good point. Jake Trinex, if CC makes the merge, she'll be dragged to the end.
Awesome. Yeah, CC doesn't seem like she's playing this game that hard.
No. Even in the challenge, she was not very useful. Giovanni, I see Sunday as a wild card. Chris and Brett don't really like her, so David needs numbers. Or they don't really like David, so he needs numbers to move forward. Lucy is making divisions within the tribe. Not quite sure, but I guess Sunday could be a wild card now that it's a little bit more up in the air. No way Jessica goes back to Chris and Brett now, though, right? Like we're 100% on that, unless the swap they have to, but no way otherwise.
Yeah, it's definitely tough when someone writes their name down, but the argument that Chris and Brett could make is say, hey, like you betrayed us first, and then we wrote your name down, and you survived it. We're all good. If they really do need the numbers, like if it's 3 of them and then 2 millennials on a tribe of 5, I don't see why they. I don't know.
No, it's true. I mean, that would be the only way, though. Like,
I mean, it could
there
happen.
would be no. Yeah, if it ends up though, where it's like, if it's like Chris, Brett, and then like they're in with the millennials, and then it's like Jessica, Chris, and Brett are she'd be like bye. Like if they can somehow make an in, they have no problem getting rid of her at this point. She's almost got like a Sarah feel to her, where it's kind of like she's just like almost made herself into a sitting duck right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think Jessica's game looks that good. And also another opportunity would be if Jessica and Chris and Brett, if they make it like way late in the game, there's like 6 people left, then they could be all right, like got to vote together for whatever reason. We see that happen a lot.
Zach Abrams, I feel like Brett might be the guy who goes right before the merge. He could. Brett definitely is going to go before Chris, I think. I'd be really surprised if Chris.
Yeah, we're just not getting much from Brett,
no.
Unfortunately, because he seems like a fun guy.
He does. Let's see here. Anthony Beam, if Alexa's willing, nothing wrong with a 3-person podcast, just saying. That seems like a passive-aggressive way of telling us to do a 3-person podcast.
We will at some point, but we don't want to. We definitely don't want to do 3-person podcasts all the time, because then that increases the chance one of us can't do it. And then when we do a 2-person, then it's like looked at as, we're not putting forth our full effort. So I think it's best to keep a 3-person podcast as like a special thing, or else then I don't know. We have to live up to it every week, and it could be difficult with 3 people who are busy.
Yeah. It is, yeah. And Alexa's on the East Coast, so that's a little bit tough for us. Jake Trinex, David, CC, Ken equals Fishbach, Taj, and JT. What do you think about that comparison? I personally like it. What do you think?
Read it again.
David, CC, and Ken equals Fishbach, Taj, and JT. It completely undersells Taj. They're like the poor man's version of that 3-person alliance. They're the poor man's
I think
version.
it undersells everybody. Like, David, I think, has made a lot of dumb decisions, like looking for the idol on day 1, playing the idol for Jess. Those are things I guess Steven did kind of get caught looking for the idol early in second chances, or second chance. I like the poor man's. Yeah, that works for me.
Let's see. Giovanni, this could be a top 5 cast for me. I mean, if this keeps up, like this cast, I'm loving it. Jeff Steinberg says it could be his second favorite cast behind Token Sheens. I mean, I don't want to jump too early, but this is so much fun so far. The Ginger Artist, I hope that Dave, Ken, CC get into a tribe together with Figgy and vote her out. That would be really funny. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think Figgy is kind of on her way out. I think she's going to go pre-merge. We really haven't gotten much from her. Other than that, she has a thing going on with Taylor. Like that's all we've gotten from her.
Yeah. I like that. Like, pretty much Alexa has planted herself in the chat comments here to like get people like answering questions. But her thing was Lucy's boot was obvious from the preview. We didn't see the lead up to it coming. How are we liking the editing this season? This is one that can be asked to the entire world community here. But what are you thinking about the editing so far?
I think the Lucy boot tonight was very predictable. I think the Paul boot last week was very predictable. However, both of them were like really fun episodes, and we have a great cast. And when you have a great cast, you don't need to rely so much on the editing. It's when you have like a lot of duds that you really need to edit it correctly and make the vote suspenseful. But if you're having a good time throughout, then it's fine. And it's early boots, you know?
Yeah, and for as predictable as they were, the way they happened are so much different than we're used to seeing predictable boots early in the season. They happened in really interesting, fun ways. So I'm okay with them being somewhat predictable because they're happening in such a fun way.
It's like I know Lucy's going home, but how is it exactly going to happen? Like they all want to turn on Jessica. Seems like they have the numbers, and then David plays his idol. Or last week, Paul's going home, and it was kind of clear. I think no one else could really go, but it was fun to see Ken and David, the underdogs that you've grown to like over the first 2 episodes, kind of wheel and deal and get that thing done. So yeah, enjoying it completely, even though the past 2 boots have been pretty predictable, and Rachel was kind of predictable too. Mari was a great one. I did not see that happen.
The first episode was definitely the worst so far this season, but I seriously believe even with the boots not being that unpredictable, each episode is just getting better and better every time. Like I'm having so much fun with every episode as we're going on. And yeah, we didn't hear from a lot of people tonight. We had so many great moments tonight, though, pretty much from everybody in the cast, even the ones we didn't get confessionals from.
Yeah, even Will's big smile when they saw the pig or the goat. He got like one that like big shot. Now, we didn't get a confessional, but even that moment, just to see his big grin, like that was enough for me for Will.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand early in the season that's going to happen, but it's been so good. Jake Trinex, I want to see Ken, David, and Cece get split up so they can form bonds with the Millennials and then reunite at the merge. I worry that if the 3 of them, this is me now talking, I worry that if the 3 of them get split up, one of them is screwed, especially if your name is Cece.
Yeah, I think people like Cece, Figgy, who have just not gotten really that much of anything, I really worry for people like that.
Yeah. Jay Uke asking the important questions. 3 Asian women and 4 tribals. How do you do that? Didn't even think about that. That was 3 and 4 tribals.
Wow. That's true.
That's brutal. Let's see. This is where it gets a little fun. Anthony Beam, Jessica's face when the votes was being read were so funny. That's a really good point. She was so shocked, which is why she has to be LVP. She was still so shocked, even when David played the idol for her, that she was like getting 5 votes. She was so shocked.
Yeah, I don't get how she, like everything was out in the open. I don't know how she still writes Cece's name down. Like who told her that they were like, still stick with Cece. I don't know who's doing that.
Because you just had the Woody Woodpecker voice going on there.
What happened?
No, it just happened. No. It just reminded me of that. It wasn't anything on you. But no, I agree. Why was she not voting for Lucy, or did she just think she had no other option? And that's why I knew Jessica was going to get the most votes going into this tribal, because the only person she could vote for was Cece. It made no sense. She was never even thinking about voting for Lucy.
I just figured it at some point David and Ken and Jessica would sit down and be like, all right, like, we got to vote Lucy. You just think they would have a conversation. Guess it didn't happen.
Guess not. Michael M. thought it was a great episode. Didn't think David should have played the idol, but we'll see how the slop shakes out. Ginger Artist brings up a good point. Gen X should have won the immunity challenge just for lifting Chris. That must have been heavy. Why do you think they used their like heaviest guys as the ones they were lifting?
Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure which people had to do what roles. I know you have 2 people on the puzzle, but it's not as if Chris could have. You didn't have to either go up or do the puzzle. Why couldn't have Chris just been polling the whole time? It takes no skill. Did he say like, "Oh, I'm really good with numbers. I'm really good at counting. Like, get me up there"? Like, that didn't require any really skill.
I know. That's why I don't understand. Like it made sense with the Millennials. Did you put up 3 of your smallest girls, and they go and do their thing? Like when I saw Chris as the first one, I'm like, this makes no sense. Like, what was his argument? Like, I'm going to be really good at grabbing those pieces out. It's like, yeah, we're going to be really bad at moving you around. And he was in the lead. That's what's even more shocking.
Maybe like wingspan. He just has a really big wingspan because he is tall.
Maybe.
And he can just reach. And that maybe was the argument. Like, if you, look, there's 5 of you or however 4 of you pulling me up. Like, you guys can handle it. There's 4 of you. 5 of you. I forget how many. But that was probably.
It was really only Brett, though. He was like the only guy doing all of it.
Yeah. I wouldn't have sent Chris out there. That's for sure.
No. Let's see here. Ginger Artist Gen X is a beautiful train wreck. Michael M. Michaela had a great episode, I think, tonight. Sorry, totally frozen. Alexa tweets or says hashtag Alexa and Will. So I guess that was back when we were talking about you and her. So maybe you do have some hope.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even met Alexa yet. It'd be great to meet her on a podcast. But she has to be prepared for me, like, disagreeing with her and arguing with her, though. So that's my favorite part.
She also has to be the one who's taking down the power rankings because we sure as hell know you're not going to do it.
I could easily do it. Oh, come on.
I don't know, man. I don't know if we can trust you on that one. Yeah, Ginger Artist Hannah wanted to work with Adam and Zeke, so she's keeping her lips sealed. I kind of agree with that. Zach Abrams, is this pre-merge as good as Heroes versus Villains? I don't think so, but it's up there. What do you think about this pre-merge compared to some of these other seasons? I mean, I know we're still only 4 episodes in. We got a lot of pre-merge left, but what do you think so far?
I mean, so far it's great. Heroes vs. Villains was another level, though. So it really – a lot would have to happen to top Heroes vs. Villains.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, man. Ginger Artists podcast, best Survivor Tatas. See, we're getting there. I guess the live chat stopped working for a little bit. I don't know. Hang on, I got to find this. Will, talk about something. I'm trying to find like where we were. We just went all the way to the bottom.
Well, I don't know if I'm a fan of live chat. I don't know. I think
it's not bad.
It's harder to sort through comments, but YouTube doesn't let people comment on the actual video when we're streaming live. But that's just more reason for people to get on Twitter, and we want more Twitter followers. So if we only read Twitter comments, it'll be easier to sort for sure, and we'll probably get more. There's just more action going. Throw out hashtags. It could help us. And if you enjoy our podcast, it would definitely help us get the word around if you use Twitter to comment over the live chat. Once the YouTube video is up, though, and you can comment, definitely comment on YouTube. Those are easy, too. So, I don't know. Did that fill enough time for you, Phil?
No, that was good because I just found more comments about the feud between you and Alexa, which I think is great. Maurice Lang, Alexa is cool. But Will is the best. Okay, there is no feud. It's a joke, Will. Chill. Maurice Lang, Alexa is cool, but Will is the best. Do you not want to hear that? I guess you don't want to hear that comment. We'll go to the next one then. You just don't want to hear when somebody calls you the best.
Well, now there's a feud, but it's between me and you. It's not between me and Alexa.
Well, and this is a great comment from Michael M. Alexa, you're such a home wrecker. And look at what she's done to us. Zach Abrams, Will, I love you, man, but she's cuter than you, but no one can replace you. That's a lot going on there for him. He's an emotional dude, and he's got some issues.
Alexa is definitely cuter than me. That's for sure. I'll give everybody that one.
I mean, it's Will. Sorry, Alexa. Trav Herod, bring Alexa back so we can get a Phil and Will brain, brawn, and beauty podcast. So you're the brain, Alexa's the brawn, and I'm the beauty. We'll go with that, right? Because you always said I'd be on the beauty tribe.
Yeah, it honestly would be a beauty, brawn, us two as beauties.
Yeah, they're getting Alexa's brawn coming in at like 60 pounds.
Yeah, just like Alicia, right? Alicia's brawn.
That's true, yeah. She'd be Alicia, and like we'd be Scott and Kyle, and we would just insult her the entire time till she left.
No, we're on the beauty tribe. Come on.
God, I can't keep up. Okay, so you can be the Caleb and go down. There you go. Wentz Acosta, I'm now on Team J after tonight, though Taylor is still my boy. But Michael M. J is a much better.
Jay had a subtly nice episode tonight, even though he didn't really need to be involved. I'm telling you, I'm really feeling good about my winner pick.
I agree with you. I thought what he said, what did he say at that one point where he like mimicked somebody? Who did he mimic? It was awesome. Who did he mimic? He made fun of someone. It was the Gen X people. He like mimicked like.
Oh yeah, he's like, we're go to high school, then college, then get a 9 to 5.
Yeah. And it was such a, I don't know what voice he was trying to mimic, but it was great.
It's like an old person.
I guess that's what he was going for. Michael MJ is a much better player than I thought he would be preseason. Wentz Acosta, would either of you be interested in a bit of a game, Brant Steele's Survivor Simulator, with each of you creating a tribe of your own with creative results?
Maybe.
I mean, I could be. How much effort do I have to put in? I mean, I'd be down. I just don't know, like, if I could do, like, If it's going to take hours, I couldn't do it.
No, I think that's a simulator, so I don't think we could. Maybe it could be an off-season podcast. I don't know.
Yeah. Zach Abrams, this cast is number 2. Took a bone for best cast. Wow, that's saying a lot.
I think a bone's number 1. So I agree with that. Zach Abrams there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach Abrams. How do you put Alexa over Will when we agree on our top cast? Come on.
One to Sacosta, editing has been too obvious. It's all based on the confessional before the last commercial. I agree with that. I wish they would stop doing that.
I have not really noticed that. It's probably some streaming, and I just don't like. I don't know. It doesn't really.
I don't get the commercials. I've been trying to watch it without the commercials, but yeah, I kind of agree. Okay, and then we'll just end it with Michael M. Michaela. Oh, maybe we're not ending it right here. Michaela kicked ass tonight. Moved into being one of my faves for the win tonight as well. Definitely a power player. Just hope she doesn't get out because of it. That was Jose Ortiz at the end. Ginger artist, Survivor, Alexa versus Will. Michael M. wants the showdown. Adam Heinrichs, let's not forget about doing a no-collar, blue-collar, and white-collar podcast with you 3. That would be fun because we'd all definitely be white-collar. And that's really about it, man. That's really about it. I mean, it seems like people are digging this season. It seems like people like us, and it seems like people actually did like Alexa. So, like, we could probably do something with the 3-person, but like you said, I think you're right. We don't want to overdo it. I'm glad everybody's liking this season, because if you're not liking this season, like, I could understand the co-wrong a little bit, but if you're not liking this one so far, like, this has just been fun. There's been no, like, bitterness or anger or, like, anything politically incorrect. It's just been a great, fun, like, 4 weeks of TV so far.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it thoroughly. And Phil moved, and we had no internet problems tonight. And I've always been blamed for the internet problems, so now I'm starting to think that was Phil's internet the whole time.
It really might have been, because I'm sitting in a new location for the first time, and we just went through that entire podcast fine. And when I did it with Alexa twice, not one time did it cut out.
Yeah,
and I was living
and I was taking the blame for even when I moved, and it still sucked. I was like, all right, it's still me. I just took the blame. Wow.
You were the victim, man. I beat you down so much you just believed it. Clearly,
yeah.
It was Phil. Who would have thought? The guy who couldn't even stream Netflix in his apartment was blaming the other person for the crappy live stream.
Yeah, I was in my old apartment, and then I'd go up to Tahoe, and I'd be like, oh, we're in the mountains. It's probably bad. Nope. It probably still was you. Even when I was in Tahoe trying to run around and charge my computer. Man. Well, at least I think we solved it. I mean, it could. We don't want to jinx ourselves, but it looks like Phil's move has solved the internet problem. Okay. Phil, do we have anything else? You got to subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. So
please subscribe.
Please subscribe if you haven't. We really want to hit 1,000. It just would be cool to have the 1K and not like show the full number. It's like a little mysterious. Like the video, get your comments in for the Sunday/Saturday podcast. I don't know. Phil and I will definitely try to get one in this weekend. If not, we do have substitute now. Hopefully just on call at all times. She's just waiting. Yeah, she's waiting until she gets the call. She's like in the AAAs right now, just waiting to be called up.
She hasn't showered since the last podcast because she was just worried that I was gonna be like, Alexa, I need you right now. She knows any moment of any day it can just happen, and that's a very stressful life. So she needs a little bit of credit for that. I'm really mad that these comments go away on the chat because this is fun. Like all these golden comments are going away. Like the Ginger artist saying Survivor Phil versus Will versus Alexa with their own tribes of their subscribers. Podcasts apart. Like people are just commenting like fun things that are just going to vanish and we'll never see them again because YouTube sucks. Like, why does it have to happen?
Yeah, I'm not a big live chat fan. I mean, it's fun that people can chat, but that's exactly the problem with it.
Yeah. So vote for MVP again, even if you already voted for MVP now, and throw it into the comments because we.
Okay. Well, Adam, there's no other. It was Adam.
No, it's Adam.
Okay.
Well, vote for LVP.
It doesn't matter. It was Jessica or David, both on your team. Okay. Thanks for listening.
You know what? Don't vote. Don't be interactive with us. Go ahead.
Get your comments and questions in. Get your comments and questions in. Interact that way, even though MVP and LVP are obvious. Okay. We will see you this weekend. Thank you.